something new this week. We're having a pre-Freaky Friday. Yes, indeed. And it's back to, dare we call it, disclosure. And another of the ufology's characters is throwing his hat into the mix. We're going to take a look at that. We're going to get ready for some real Freaky Friday.
Genetic engineering of viruses.
How dare you!
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
Come on, man.
Hey, new member. Well, on that note, it would be rude not to get started, right? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeedy. Some new tunes to come in today. Something a bit different, a bit upbeat. So need something upbeat. Yesterday I sounded terrible. I felt terrible. I was ready for hanging up my microphone. I'd lost patience with the world, but today I'm back. We are restored to full mojo. It's Freaky Friday. And what better way to get warmed up than a little bit of, ready? Dare we call it disclosure? Yes, so I've shaken off the social media blues, the internet interruptions. What else could you call it? I don't know. But it's just been a heavy week, and it's not just been me. Good friend Luna, she's been going through stuff this week. Heaviness, losing the mojo. So if you've been losing your mojo out there this week, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If I'm anything to go by, it will be back with full force. And today we're going to continue taking a 360-degree no preconceived ideas look at what's going on with, as I love to call it, dare we call it, disclosure. We're going to be taking a look at another character, an infamous character within ufology, a very well-known character. His name is Stephen Greer, and we're going to be taking a listen to one of his latest updates on everything that's been going on. I want to say before we get going, I've got no stake in this. I've got no preconceived ideas. I don't know what's happening here. I know there's agendas, not one, but agendas afoot. And the best thing that I can do is try to observe it all. And I provide, you decide. And we'll brainstorm it. Observation mode, open mind, game theory. And I have also got down here, I don't know any of these people personally. I've had a lot of people on the show. I've never had somebody like Stephen Greer on. I've never had Luis Elizondo, who is going to be coming up in today's conversation. I have never met any of these people, so I am not here to tell you any of them are trustworthy because I don't know them. And I know a lot of people in the chat room are very, very critical of one of the characters we're going to be taking a look at today. But we have to go there because I think it's really important what this person has to say. And even if you distrust somebody, when we get into the murky world of disclosure and alphabet agencies and characters here, there, everywhere, stooges, plants, call them what you will, we have to be very aware that it's not all lies that comes from them. We have to be able to use our noggin, discern, and listen to what's been said without reacting to where it's coming from. And then put it on our board of information, our smorgasbord, as Joe used to call it, and see if at all, where and how it makes sense, it connects, or it doesn't. In the end of the day, as long as we can keep looking at the information as it comes in and try to make sense. None of us know definitively what's going to happen here, where as we build up to this much awaited report that's going to be coming from the same people that have been hiding all this information in the first place. But I think we've had good fun along the way here, keeping an eye on what's going on. I think it'll make for good material for us to warm up for today's Freaky Friday, which will be me and Mr. Nacy. Want to give a big shout to Scotty Lopez. He has got a migraine today. He's also had PC problems. You see, we've all had a bit of funkiness this week. So myself and Nacy will take you into the deep woo from midnight in the UK, 7 p.m. on the East Coast and 4 p.m. on the West Coast. Now, if you're new here on a Friday night, or if you're new here, well, everyone's new here on a Friday night. We rarely crack open the live stream on a Friday on KBS2. A big shout to the members. You'll see people's name in green. If you do want to support the channel, but you don't have to, then all you have to do is click the big shiny join button below. But like I say, you don't have to. Everything here is free. Apart from a Sunday, we do an extra members stream over there, which Russell, I believe it was Russell that came in there, will be one of our newest people on the Sunday stream. And I've seen people talking in the chat and Discord about making money, and it's a very controversial kind of topic, this, isn't it? Making money out of UFOs, but who am I to criticize anyone? I know from what I do, and it's very little in comparison to some characters out there. I put in my time, and there's the super chat, there's the PayPal. It's like a gratuity if you want to. It's not mandatory. I'm not keeping anything behind a paywall. Well, a Sunday you could argue, but it's just hanging out on the member stream. There's nothing really I can say you're missing out on, because usually if it's good stuff, we'll bring it onto the stream anyway. And my point being, I can't really sit here and criticize anyone for making money doing what they're doing when I'm trying to make a bit of money doing this. When you invest time, it's not that I expect to get paid for what I'm doing, because I enjoy doing this and I'd be doing it anyway. But I don't think it's inherently evil to be making money doing what it is you're passionate about. That being said, I'm not ignorant to the fact that there's a lot of grifting goes on as well. Okay? But I would be a hypocrite. I'd be a hypocrite if I sat here and said it was wrong for people to be making money when they're doing the kind of thing that basically I'm doing here. So with that said, listen, we're going to get into it, but before we do anything, we're going to head over to the chat room, okay? And remember, this is probably going to be one of our more controversial ones today. Not because of anything I've got to say, because I'm just going to try and make sense of it and report on what's happening along with all of you. But because of the character, Dr. Stephen Greer, you either love him or hate him. I can take him or leave him, but like I say, I think the content of what he had to say today, or just the other day, if memory serves me correctly, I think it's worthy of our time to at least add it to everything else we've got on our dare we call it disclosure table. Okay, so let me pull up the live chat. We'll get some of these tunes back on, and then we're gonna get right into it, right? How's that sound? Where has the chat room gone? Oh, where is the chat room? There we go, there we go. So first up today, and I can't give you 10 minutes worth, dude. I can't give you 10 minutes worth, Wookie. I would love to. But Wookie, number one in the chat, all the way from London. He asked that I talked about him for 10 minutes, but no. We get to hang out over in Discord, dude. Been really great getting to hear you, Wookie, getting to know you a bit better, putting a voice to the ID that we see on the screen. And second in the chat today, and the one that's most responsible for us doing this stream, blame Sidvich in the chat room. He is to blame because he was the one that actually dropped this link. Sid is like my own personal kind of data stream of everything relevant towards, dare we call it, disclosure. Okay. And again, I don't know what's going to be happening. I don't know what the true agenda is, but I think what we're about to listen to today, and it's going to be fair use, YouTube, because Dr. Greer himself asks people to cover this. It's very newsworthy because it's in everyone's kind of mainstream news, no matter what country you're in right now. It's all the talk, and fair use rules definitely come into play today. All right, so don't want any of your nonsense algorithm. Not our friend algorithm. You YouTube algorithm. Behave. Okay, so with that said, we've also got nothing as it seems in the chat room. Nothing ever is. Do you know why nothing is ever as it seems? Because no matter how you view something, everyone else is going to view it differently, even if they've got the same opinion as you. There you go. Nothing is as it seems. Orange juice today. I know, throwing a bit of healthy stuff down me. What's that all about? It's going to be a weird, freaky Friday. It's going to get freaky. So we got Jocelyn Richardson in there from Alaska. Nothing as it seems says Norway, Alaska, Australia, and California in the house. Yes, indeedy. We've also got see how we are living. Nice one. Jocelyn, Leslie, Diggies, all the way from Ireland. Hey, how's it going, Diggies? Good to see you. Speculation Island ahoy, beware of the sharks of Greer Reef. Oh, dang, laying down the hammer, ZX. Bang, dude. Oh, good long-time friend in there. Well, long-time digital friend. We've got Cheryl in there. We have got Leslie, the one, the only. He gives us smiles for miles. Mr. Polly, good to see you, man. See, I've got my mojo back. I'm smiling again. I'm happy. I've not lost faith in humanity. Not yet. We have also got Diggy's Journal. Was that the one I said? I've watched Greer's live broadcast and I've also watched the videos. If aliens want to take the planet, they could. They haven't. All good. Nobody cares who made the UAPs. We're not scared. And that's the most important thing right at the end there. Don't ever let this stuff scare you. Knowledge is power. Even if that knowledge, we don't quite know what to make of the data yet. You know, being forewarned and thinking about it ahead of time is being forearmed. I would rather be able to make no sense of what's going on, right? Like, just been looking at it the way I am right now. I could go any way. I could game it out multiple ways. But I would rather that than being oblivious to what's going on and waking up one morning and then finding out, boom, 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 whatever is going to transpire here. And everything's on the table, ladies and gentlemen. Everything is on the table. Why? Because we've got to look at it from all angles. That's what we do around here. It's awesome. ZX still. We've got Stardust. Good to see you. Lady Blah Blah. Another big Greer fan. I'm only joking. We have got Donnie, our brother Donnie. I hope you're doing well, sir. And I hope you're resting, man. We've got Nick Parker. I hope it's playing for you. It's playing here. Oh, man, we have got a super coming in. Hang on here now. Hang on. Let me make sure I've got an alert box on here. I do. We're good. Sidvich, I think, is it? Yes, thank you, Sidvich.
Maybe Greer is right, they are nice. But PPN need to start agree and not contradict each other. Those UFO men.
Yeah. I think we should just try and remove ourselves from getting too involved in the drama-rama. And this is what I like about you as an audience. I don't really have to go too deep on any of the characters because you probably know more about ufology and ufology research than I do. And I'm not just saying that. I'll be blatantly honest with you. You all know I love this stuff. But that being said, I'm not somebody that follows it every minute of every day because I've got to keep an eye on multiple things going on. The way I try and encourage you to not get too involved, absorbed in one topic, but we've all got our favourite topics. But that being said, I mean, there's probably a whole lot more knowledge with somebody like Sidvich, a lot of you people in the chat room, than I have on all of this. So my aim is not to tell you what to think about it, because I don't know what to think about it. It's just to bring it to your attention if you haven't seen it, and so we can talk about it. So we can do what we do here on KBS. We're a little bit different. You know, I don't ever give you any kind of false promises of major revelations coming from me. We just like to kind of observation mode. Yeah. And it sometimes keeps us one step ahead of the game. It really, really does. We have got Kazi in there. Yes, indeed, fellow Scott. How you doing? And Kazi, this is the first time I've really spoke to you since the election. You know I'm absolutely opposed to the people that you like. But that being said, I congratulate you and your side on their win. I'm absolutely sick. But fair's fair. It's what happens in a democratic society, right? And if I really want change, I should get out there myself. But that won't be happening anytime soon. So we're scrolling down. We've got Marcus Vanian. We have got Rorschach, Mad. I'll do it. We need to get into this, right? And if I've missed you out, I'm really sorry. Bet, I can't miss out. Bet, that's one of our loyal members and a good friend from over in Discord. And I'm sure Cassie, hey Cassie, good to see you. I'm sure ZX, if he gets the chance, will drop a link to the Discord. We've got one rule in the Discord. Well, there's probably a couple of rules, but the main rule is don't be the captain of the douche canoe. Just be chill, because that's what we try to be there. In fact, it's almost like a, dare I say it, a Masonic lodge, right? No, listen. We leave our politics and our belief systems at the door, and we just go in there and we get crazy. Not that crazy. Well, sometimes, but honestly, that's why it's nice and chill. It's our little retreat away from the madness, right? So that said, Lady Blah Blah, Sidvich, hey, Jimmy Jeans. Remember, check out Jimmy over on Aftermath Media. So, okay, we are going to dive down the disclosure rabbit hole, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Well, you're just gonna have to wait for it. We are gonna be going down the, dare we call it, disclosure rabbit hole. The Dr. Stephen Greer has his say on Elizondo, UFOs, and fake alien invasions. Yes, indeed. I've got too many graphics kicking about here. Telling you. Get yourself a drink, PPP. I'm going to get it lined up. We're ready to go. Exactly, Marcus. Why can't they just show us the photos, man? Why can't they just do it? Get it over with. Hey, listen, don't be criticising the music today. This is some Calvin Harris we're getting here. Can you believe it? I found Calvin Harris over in the YouTube library. Like, he's like a top DJ, and I'm pretty sure he's Scottish as well. Eh? You like it? Marty, thank you very, very much, my friend. Very much. There is a PayPal link in the description. How much of a hypocrite am I after saying about earning money? Now you see, thank you, Marty. There's super chats as well, but the PayPal, it cuts out the evil middleman. Yes, indeed. But with that being said, are you ready? I am. I'm more than ready. So let's head over here. Yep, and you'll recognize this character, I would imagine, all of you knowledgeable people out there. Dr. Stephen Greer. We're not going to listen to all of this. This was a live broadcast that went out on May the 19th. It's had 76,000 views. And you ready? 333. Look, 76333. It must mean something, all you geometric gymnastics out there. Yes, indeedy. Hey, what can I say? Now, let me make sure I've got that there. Yep. Oh, what's happened? Right, wrong one, wrong one. We'll fix that. I need to fix my soundboard. It's all gone horribly wrong. But we're going to listen to maybe 5 or 6 minutes of this. And then I've been taking notes. It's hard to show you because it all goes out of focus. But there's like arrows and different colors, and it makes it look like it's pretty intelligent. But really, it's just to keep me straight when I'm going down all the points I took. I pretty much went through this whole video, maybe the last 2-3 minutes. I didn't catch that part, but we'd got the gist of it. And I think the first 6 minutes of this pretty much encapsulates the main message. And then we'll go deeper into what I think, my opinion about Stephen Greer, the material he presents, and again, how it might or might not factor in with what's going to happen when we're getting these reports, and what the bigger picture is. Where are we going with all of this? 'Cause that's what we really want to know, right? And I get it, Marcus. I would love that pictures as well. But if we were to get pictures of aliens or even video of it, I guarantee that most of us would probably say it's fake. And that's because they've showed us so much fake stuff in the past. And we know that some of the videos that have come out lately, very suspicious, or you have to be very suspicious of the fact that one of the latest ones, the night vision one, with the little triangle all green, and it just happens to have the same kind of flashing, pulsing lights on the wings as the FAA demands in America. Very convenient. I often joke, it's, maybe they've got a road sign out at the Van Allen radiation belts that tells them what speed limits they can go, altitude, lights they need to turn on. You feel me? So it's not that we don't get fed fakery, or at least half truths. And this is probably one of the weirdest kind of genres, the whole ufology thing. It's like, it's wackadoodle at times. It truly is wackadoodle at times. We can't deny that. But there are absolute charlatans, there's fantasists, there's some possibly mentally disturbed people, there's genuine people, there's spooks, there's ex-spooks, there's psyops, there's misinformation, there's disinformation. Need we go on? Like I say, when it comes to like all of the components you need for a right, ufology is the place to go. And even the people that do the commentary on it, I absolutely love watching some of the people that comment on some of the more questionable characters out there. It's got to be the most drama-filled genre that's spoken about online. I can't think of another topic really that brings along all of the components that ufology does. It goes all the way from wackadoodle to like Einstein level thinking, and then there's all this kind of crazy stuff in between. And you get me. Listen, I'll shut up. We'll listen to Dr. Stephen Greer. He knows what he's talking about. Oh, or does he? Or does he? Because I'm not here today to tell you to believe this guy. I'm not here today to tell you to disbelieve this guy. I provide, you decide. Let's do it.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Stephen Greer. I'm joining you from my home out in the Blue Ridge Mountains outside Charlottesville, Virginia, near the University of Virginia. And this is an update, sort of urgent. Many of you may have seen recently that the Disclosure Project pro bono attorney, Daniel Sheehan, who did the Pentagon Papers, Iran-Contra, the Silkwood case, and many others, is now working with Luis Elizondo. And so a lot of people are very confused on what's going on, since, of course, everyone on this call probably knows Luis Elizondo is a professional disinformation agent putting out false intelligence about the UFO matter in through the mainstream media. The reason Mr. Sheehan is doing this, we've had a long discussion about it going back 2 or 3 weeks, is that Luis Elizondo approached him to help him with his legal case because the Pentagon was about to pull his security clearances. And it wasn't because he was doing things with TTSA, that they wanted him to do that. It was because he had resigned from TTSA fallen out with the people that were the hardliners wanting him to present that there was an alien threat or a threat to the national security. And he has told two people on my team, including attorney Daniel Sheehan, that he knows, and the other people like Chris Mellon know, that there is no such thing as an alien threat, that there is not a threat to the national security, but that's the only way they can get this in front of.
Now, let me pause it there because maybe we should get out there and clarify Dr. Stephen Greer's position on aliens and UFOs. Now, I can't say that it's an opinion that I share with Dr. Greer, but everyone is entitled to their opinion. And Dr. Greer is of the long term, and he's been talking about this for a good while, that these aliens are very, very beneficial. They're very, very good guy and good girl type aliens. They're all friendly. He actually rarely entertains the idea that they could be like humans, and by that I mean they might come in good and bad forms. And even if these things are coming here, as he claims, and they're all good, I don't think that fits too well with some of the other stuff that's gone on over the decades with some of the witnesses, some of the abductees. But again, I just have a different opinion on that. You may share his opinion. You may disagree with his opinion. That's okay, because that's what opinions are all about, folks. But I don't think, in my opinion, that all these aliens, wherever they're coming from, are necessarily the good guys. I think there could be a mixture of both, but that's just me.
The American people to get more overt funding for the Space Force and eventually a conflict with these extraterrestrial civilizations. He has flat out said he knows that everything he's been saying about this being a threat is untrue. Now, Daniel Sheehan has also shared, and this is even more explosive, that Luis Elizondo has informed him that he, in fact, has been in a facility where an actual extraterrestrial vehicle was stored. Now,
fair use, and again, Dr. Greer has given permission to anyone and everyone to use segments, the full video. So please, algorithm, I know you can't discern like actual fair use from copyright infringement, but please, come on, man.
why is that important? Because he's all over the news, 60 Minutes, every mainstream news channel, along with his other cohorts in the cover up, such as Leslie Keene, Nick Pope, Chris Mellon, and others, saying that we don't know what these are. Now, interestingly, he absolutely knows that some of these craft are in fact of extraterrestrial origin. He must also then know that some of them are ours. For example, the recent Jeremy Corbell interview on Fox News, where they were showing these triangles swarming, menacing our Navy ships. Every one of those pyramid triangular shaped objects with the flashing light on them are from either Northrop Grumman or Boeing or the Lockheed, most likely Northrop Grumman. Those are man-made UFOs. They're anti-gravity vehicles. Everyone in the aerospace industry at any level of clearance knows this. So this is a big problem. So I told Mr. Sheehan, I said, look, you have to be very careful. If you're going to work with this gentleman, you have to understand that he is a master of disinformation. I am quoting from a senior CIA official who wrote me about this when they first emerged after Unacknowledged came out in 2017. And
now, I find that somewhat ironic, and I'll tell you why. Because I totally agree that you can't trust anyone who has been working for and still does contracts with alphabet agencies, okay? I often joke you never leave something like the CIA, so you can never really trust what they're talking about. There may be an agenda, maybe a psyop, maybe. There may be truths, there may be lies interwoven in between there. But he's instantly disregarding everything Elizondo's got to say on the back of him being a spook, yet he has absolutely gobbled down 100% that it must be fact that this unnamed spook is telling him the truth about Elizondo. Do you see how that doesn't quite jive? That's almost a little bit of confirmation bias there. And I'm very, very, very skeptical whether it's Stephen Greer or anyone talking about unnamed sources. I could come on here and talk about unnamed sources and turn 73 viewers into 730. But you know what? there would be unnamed sources, anonymous, coming from inside my mind. There's no way to verify what's coming or where that information's coming from. And I'm not saying in this instance he's not getting information, but how can you take the word of one spook that could be lying to you because he's a spook, that another spook, Elizondo, is definitely lying? You see what I'm saying? I hope that made sense. I confused myself, but I've got notes. We're going to go through it all. Don't worry, okay?
Of course, Daniel Sheehan knows this. He told me point blank, yes, we know this. The main reason he's working with him is to represent him and to get him to come clean. So it's a very interesting strategy. What Daniel Sheehan is trying to do is to get Luis Elizondo and then perhaps after him, some of the others to actually admit that they know that there is not a threat from the UFOs and that they have been coerced into doing so. Recently on the internet, on a YouTube interview that's now been taken down, Daniel Sheehan admitted that there was an inspector general of the Pentagon had been pulled in to look into complaints from Luis Elizondo at the insistence.
Oh, come on, Charlie, man. Everyone knows that me and you get the super secret squirrel stuff from, you ready? You ready? Robert David Steele. Oh, yeah, nah, that's your pal. See, I'm only joking you, Baldy. I'm only joking you, man. Come on.
Of Daniel Sheehan about him being threatened with loss of his security clearance not because he was disclosing classified material, but because he went off the leash and was not wanting to continue to say the falsehood that these were an alien threat. And I think in large part because Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, which exposes that as an absolute bold-faced lie, has now been seen by millions and millions of people, and it's one of the top trending documentaries on Amazon Prime.
Still not seen it, but I'm going to watch it tomorrow. Okay, full disclosure. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, "Yeah, I've seen that," and discount it or I love it. I've not seen it. Not seen it.
And elsewhere.
See, I'm too honest for this whole ufology thing, man. I don't have anyone suing me. I don't have anyone like totally like trolling me. I'm doing all this wrong. In fact, no, we're doing it just right. Okay, we're doing it right.
So what is happening here, just so people get clear, is it is not that Daniel Sheehan has defected to the dark side or anything like that. He's trying to encourage Luis Elizondo, and I think by extension some of these others, to in fact defect from the disinformation and lies that they have been saying in the mainstream media, up on Capitol Hill, and in other places about this subject. The two very big lies that they're telling, as well as their acolytes, people like Leslie Keene, who had worked with me originally on the Disclosure Project. By the way, she subsequently raided our pool of disclosure witnesses after she got on the inside, and along with some other people, put those nuclear military site witnesses, people who had been at some nuclear silos and in other places together, and spun the story that the aliens, or whatever these UFOs are, were degrading our nuclear arsenal readiness, and therefore were a national security concern and threat. Also a lie, because every one of those men told me that they felt that the ETs were trying to say, please do not blow up this beautiful planet, but if you go so far as to launch thousands of these, we can basically disable them. So she is also someone who has pivoted towards getting the money and the attention and the mainstream coverage by basically telling a lie. That A, we don't know what these are, that B, it's a national security concern, and C, gee, recently she said in an interview, Leslie Keene said, I think it was on Sunday morning, CBS, wow, maybe they're from Russia or China. Well, of course, she knows that's not true. She sat there with people like Mark McCandless, with the schematics of the main man-made UFOs, with people who had retrieved the actual ET craft and the bodies. She knows what the truth is about this, and yet she continues to go out into the public and tell the same two large lies. One, that these are some kind of national security threat or concern, and number two, that we do not know what they are or where they're from. Now,
you see, this is one of the big kind of points of contention I've got with Greer. How can he again, like so wholeheartedly, for years tell us that these things are not a national security threat? And I'm not just talking about to America, I'm talking about to the planet. And the whole planet thing, that might come into the picture, right? Because we know what that outside threat might eventually do. No conspiracy. Ronald Reagan, an ex-US president, was talking about that back in the day. even before he had done his press conference over at the Washington Press Club in 2001, where my all-time favourite clip comes from. Oh, you knew I had to have this one queued up, right? Come on, man.
Good morning. My name is Carol Rosen. In 1974, after being a sixth grade school teacher, I was introduced to the late Dr. Wernher von Braun in the U.S., the father of rocketry. In my first meeting with him during that first
Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Wernher von Braun was a really famous guy way back in the middle of the 20th century. I'm trying to remember what he'd done for a living. Oh, that's right. He was a model for Hugo Boss. You like it?
3.5 hours. He said to me, Carol, you will stop the weaponization of space. And I said, you know, teachers don't stop until June. He said, no, you have to understand. This is February. And we have to prevent the weaponization of space because there is a lie being told to everyone that the weaponization of space is now first being based upon the evil empire, the Russians. There are many enemies, he said, against whom we're going to build this space-based weapon system, the first of whom was the Russians, which was existing at that time. Then there would be terrorists. Then there would be terrorists. Then there would be terrorists. Then there would be third world countries. Now we call them rogue nations or nations of concern. Then there would be asteroids. And then he would repeat to me over and over, and the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat.
That there. I want that played when I leave this plane. I want that as part of my, like, I don't know, the songs you put. That's epic. And may I just say that for whatever Wernher von Braun was doing back in that period of his life, he had a fine eye for the ladies, I would imagine. Just saying. It's my toxic side that always comes out. So listen, we're not going to play any more of Dr. Stephen Greer because I haven't got the documents. I've got Kev's notes. It's not quite as good as John Brisson, but big shout out to John Brisson over at We've Read the Documents. If you want to see the links and connections that exist between all of these networks into any topic you can think about, that's one guy I would absolutely recommend. And I know I love to bust his chops, but that's only because the minute me and Charlie Robinson met, his mum joked about it, I joke about it, but we're honestly like two brothers. We get on so well. We don't even agree on everything, and that's what makes it a genuine kind of friendship as well. But that guy there, Charlie, I can't recommend his podcast highly enough. Honestly, not just him and his research and the books he's wrote, but also the guests that he gets on. Absolutely fantastic discussion with Corbett the other day. I highly recommend people take a listen to that. But I'm very, very blessed people like Charlie, come onto the show and share their level of nous and research into all these characters. And Charlie's even got his own kind of personal Area 51 story, which is absolutely epic. It's not really his story, but it was something that happened to a friend of his while he was living in Las Vegas, a photographer, and he got invited out to Groom Lake. Yes, he did. And when he got there, he was invited into a hangar, and what he seen changed his life. Because when Charlie next got to speak to him, he was a very, very changed character. Let me compare him to somebody like Mel Gibson in the film Conspiracy Theorist. Just like, whoa, everybody was after him, black helicopters, the whole 9 yards, ladies and gentlemen. And what he's seen in there was the kind of stuff that Stephen Greer talks about in this video. Because Stephen Greer does make a point or two that I do agree with. And one of them is that these craft that we are seeing being released right now, in my opinion, and in Greer's opinion as well, he talks about this, is there's two types of craft, okay? There's the secret craft, which we would love them to tell us about, i.e. the alien ones. But the ones that they're even more determined to keep the secret about is the ones that we have. Now, I tend to agree with that. And I also tend to agree with the fact that a lot of the videos that are coming out first through TTSA, which we heard in this video, and we can only take it at face value, but I've talked about this with Charlie as well, but that TTSA with Tom DeLonge and all the spooks, Elizondo, Hal Puthoff, you had Christopher Mellon, you know all that, we done all these shows. That was like some front, some public front to act as a clearinghouse for the information that we got through TTSA. Now we hear that Elizondo's panicking, and this is why he has reached out to Daniel Sheehan, very, very famous lawyer, worked on the Pentagon Papers, Iran-Contra, that kind of thing. And the reason Elizondo has sought out his help is because Elizondo's in trouble with the faction within the Pentagon, CIA, Department of Defense, whoever it is, that was using Elizondo to filter information through to the Stars Academy about this alien threat. Now, Elizondo, he's wanting to pull away from To the Stars Academy, and he has done so. So he's getting a lawsuit, and everyone's getting sued over at Gaia TV and Wilcock and Good and all these characters as well. It's a whole mess. But if we concentrate on this and we listen to Greer, we hear that there's this kind of split going on. But there's two types of craft, okay? Two types of craft. There's the alien craft, and then there's our craft that they want to be really, really secretive about. And he says that the big lie is that Elizondo and Christopher Mellon and all the disclosure going on right now is an attempt to get money for a big budget for the Space Force and to terrify people about this alien threat that exists. Now that totally flies in the face of Stephen Greer, right? Because Stephen Greer says they're all good aliens. So I disagree with Greer there, but I do agree that a lot of what we're seeing right now is going to be used to justify a big budget. Now, the videos we've seen coming out from TTSA and now through Jeremy Corbell, and I don't think Tom DeLonge or Jeremy Corbell are people that have trained with, say, the CIA. They're assets. In fact, they're probably what would be described as useful idiots. And I ain't criticizing them, because if these level of people came to me, I would probably get caught in the headlights as well. Wow, I'm going to be the face of disclosure, and I'm getting all this stuff from people that are spooks, and I'm in the rooms with the people I need to be in with. So I'm not criticizing these people for falling for it. But look how obviously fake or how obviously man-made the night vision video was coming out from Corbell, with the flashing lights, like it was like FAA approved lighting on it. Okay, and then think about the one we've seen just recently. The one that has come down, it just kind of sits above the water, and then it splash, 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 right? And we'll take a look at it. Now, is it just me, or isn't it really, really convenient? And if these things are an outside threat, like we're being told, right? We're like Elizondo and this faction want us to believe. If these are bad guy aliens and they're getting ready to invade us, you're telling me they're intelligent enough to build craft that can get here, but all of their maneuvers they do in front of their upcoming enemy and almost like give them an idea of what they're going to be facing in the near future. That doesn't jive with me. What does jive with me though is if it's our craft, man-made, secret space program, breakaway civilization, call them what you will. And then you make sure that you do all your maneuvers, all your things that are like jaw-dropping. Obama coming out. Well, let's take a look at that. Obama coming out and talking about these things, okay? Video. I thought it might have the clip of it. Yeah, here we go.
There's some things I just can't tell you on air. They did a little bit of research, and the answer was no. But what is true and I'm actually being serious here, is that there's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
So, look, you're telling me that these things fly from another planet or come from another dimension. They're getting ready to invade here. They're really dangerous. We need to like really man up and arm up for this outside alien threat. But they're doing all of their like reconnaissance right in the face of the enemy. That doesn't make sense unless you want to be seen. Unless you want to bamboozle the public with technology that we've already got, but we don't recognize because it's been occulted away in secret programs, black projects. And I'm not going all the way out to blue chickens and 20 and back programs. That's science fiction, total science fiction. The real good stuff. This is the real good stuff that we're probably getting into here. But it's my opinion. It's my opinion that the ones that we're seeing getting released right now, and this doesn't mean that the pilots necessarily know. Everything's compartmentalized. They know where the ships are going to be, so they just make sure they're very advanced vehicles that we don't really know much about, but they look like they're doing things we could never do. You know, this is like anti-gravitics, stuff like that, which I firmly, confidently think we've probably really had that for a long time. Remember that German guy I was talking about? I remember like things like the bell and stuff like that. Pretty cool going to the moon with Apollo, but what else were they working on in the background? Kind of craft that could maybe do tic-tac maneuvers and all the stuff we're seeing now. Trans-medium vehicles going below water. I was looking at a video the other day with it was over on Alien Scientists channel. Really good guy. I'm going to try and get him onto the show. Jeremy, his name is, very brainy young guy as well. He actually gets into the kind of propulsion systems that we're talking about here. Literally looking at building anti-gravity craft. And he was talking about all this kind of stuff as well. And now I've forgotten where I was going to go because I came off the screen and I looked at the chat. Anyway, right? Long story short on that part. That's the whole premise of Greer's talk. We need to be very aware of the fact that this is what he calls the false disclosure. The false disclosure. The one like, I would imagine, you could compare to Werner von Braun, what he was talking about, right? The fake alien invasion, the last card. Now, he also talks about how all the Corbell stuff, the anti-gravity vehicles, etc., they're ours. And I agree with that part of it. See, I agree with some of what Greer says. And you got to be careful with Elizondo as well. Because even with some of Elizondo and what these characters are telling us is true, because the best disinfo and misinformation and psyops, it's a mixture of lies, half-lies, truths. It's craziness, and it's not black and white. None of it's black and white. Now, I'm going to tell you in a moment what I think it all leads up to. Okay, my opinion, my take, one aspect I'm looking at. But Elizondo here, I wouldn't trust this guy as far as I could throw him. And look at him, he's built like a brick shithouse. He could probably fight me and push me out the way before he even takes his breakfast in. The guy is like, I mean, look at him. He's pretty butch. In fact, maybe he's overcompensating with that butchness. He's probably got a little bit of that going on. But that's a highly personal insult on the guy. I don't know him. But it says here, Louis Elizondo, a former employee of the Office of Undersecretary of Defense, OUSDI, currently serves as Director of Global Security and Special Programs at To the Stars Academy of Arts. Well, I don't think that's a thing anymore. I really don't. And he was the guy that blew the whistle on ATIP. We all know that. I also written down here, what have I got here as well? He also makes a fascinating claim. And again, I'm not going to judge yes or no, but I'll get your take on it in the audience. You can put in a 1 for you think this could be a thing, 2 for no. But he says that he's got evidence and they're going to be bringing out proof that, see all of like the alien abductions and things like that we put down to say, give me 2 secs, folks. That we put down to say aliens doing genetic programs and all that kind of jazz. Well, he says that a lot of these were actually staged by the same kind of groups that have been hiding away the whole UFO file, the CIA, the Men in Black. Yeah, they faked a lot of these so that it would be setting the stage for alien bad. And again, remember, Greer says that's ridiculous. All aliens are good. So in his world, I would imagine the cattle mutilations fall under the kind of remit of this shadowy group that we've never heard of before. No, I don't know. I'm not telling you that's bogus. I'm not telling you he's right. But I'll get you to tell me in the chat. Do you think that could be a thing? Is that a one or a two? And we hear about MyLabs, military abductions. I don't know how legitimate that whole thing is, but I'm open to it. Why not? So what do you think? One or two for that one? And I need to send a message here. Give me a moment, folks. Give me a moment. We're gonna calm it down here. Oopsie. There we go. So, what else have I got written down here? Yeah, him talking about the bigger secret is the fact that we've got these craft. With Elizondo going on all the mainstream, with all the kind of hype we're seeing right now, the build up to the report coming out in Congress, all the videos that they want us to believe, or that the psyop is that it's aliens. It's all aliens, and they're all bad, and they're all coming to get us, and it's all going to be used to justify a heinous budget for the Space Force, right? Now, I think there's a huge. I think that's a huge part of what's going on, and even if that's the main agenda or not, it's still going to result in billions going into the Space Force, right? Absolutely. That's the main kind of premise of what Greer's saying. We've got to be careful about Elizondo. We've got to be careful of what's going on right now, because quite literally it's building us up to what people call Project Bluebeam. But again, I'm kind of on the fence with Bluebeam because it comes from an unnamed scientist that leaked a NASA document to a conspiracy theorist up in Canada back in the 80s or 90s. Now, typically, if anything comes from NASA, me, you, and everyone to the moon and back would say, oh, it's bogus, right? But confirmation bias, we like to kind of go down that road, don't we? We like to kind of go there. We'll keep an open mind to that because it kind of fits the narrative that we're all used to in conspiracy land. It's Bet's saying it's a huge setup. There's something going on, that's for sure. The one thing I think I can definitively tell you is that they're not doing it for our benefit. Somebody somewhere hasn't turned around and says, you know what, we've been so bad. This needs to end. You know, we need to like repent. We need to like just tell the people what's going on. Show them the photographs. I don't think that's what's happening. I really don't. There's shenanigans afoot, ladies and gentlemen. Shenanigans afoot. Now, I think most of this will be used to justify that big budget that they'll probably go for with the Space Force. And we can think of Ronald Reagan and, you know, if there was that outside alien threat, just imagine what would happen. I think we're moving into this phase now where, because we're moving into that new world, you know, and I think we need a new boogeyman. I think we need a new boogeyman, and I think it could be our alien brothers and sisters who Stephen Greer assures me, not only does he assure me it's just the tip, but this man absolutely wholeheartedly is convinced that not only is it just the tip, but they absolutely lube it up, they warm it up, and they've got your best intentions at heart, ladies and gentlemen. Your best intentions at heart. When you see that big Nordic coming towards you with a tip that looks like it's going to make your eyes water. That's all I'm going to say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little drink right now before I go absolutely, totally crazy. Look, there's Speculation Island as well. We're on our way to Speculation Island. Yep. Look at him there. He look. You see, that kind of spoils my Speculation Island look with that big head on there. But we will play some tunes, and I'll be back in a moment. I'm going to come into the chat, see what you people are saying as well, right? Because you might think I'm an absolute dingbat. In fact, I know many of you do. But I tell you, here's another thing before I get a little drink of juice now. PPP. I think it's really interesting the level of characters you're seeing entering the fray. And by that, I didn't really get into this. I kind of briefly mentioned them. And it's Daniel Sheehan. Him meant to be representing Elizondo, and at the same time, Greer says what he's really trying to do is he's really trying to get him to come clean and tell us the truth about all of this. What he does know, what he's been used for, blah, blah. I just find it interesting that you've got somebody who was, the guy behind that Pentagon Papers thing, the Iran-Contra thing, very, very famous lawyer. Again, though, it just raises my suspicions as well as to what's truly going on here. But listen, I'll be back in a moment, folks. Don't go anywhere. Will we get our Scottish DJ on again? Let's do it. Okay, Sidvich, what was he saying with Grant Cameron? What was he saying, man? Let the chat know. What was he saying? Hang on. Hold on.
And I have, as some of you know, have been talking for some time about this because with Dr. John Mack. John and I were at Harvard trying to set up this new paradigm institute, this worldview institute, to try to talk about the fact that people who are coming at this issue of extraterrestrial intelligence and UFO phenomenon, etc., people tend to prism the whole experience through their own lenses of their worldview, and so therefore, the people who are authoritarians or militarists, they view them as this extraordinary threat. People who are sort of utopianists view them as sort of the George Adamski thing. They've all come from outer space to help us save ourselves from ourselves. And the scientific logical positivists are viewing them as this strange conundrum that's sort of somewhere between the borderline of the material realm and this other realm, whatever it is. So I've been just making myself available over this time since 1977, when I served as special counsel to Jimmy Carter's investigation of the UFOs and extraterrestrial intelligence with Marshall Smith at the Congressional Research Service. And I've been fortunate that because I don't know, maybe one of the few lawyers that...
Is it just me that's wondering if this guy on the right here is actually like one of the aliens? Watch him closely. He's a dodgy one, that.
Pays as much attention to this as I do. I keep getting invited by people to represent them in different contexts, when they're afraid they're going to get threatened or their security clearance is going to get yanked away or whatever it is. And so I've been invited. I have to appear in front of the Inspector General of the Defense Department on Wednesday in Washington, over by Zoom now, representing Lou Elizondo. Because he has filed an Inspector General complaint against the Department of Defense for holding back information about the UFO phenomenon. So I've been leaning on Lou.
So, wait a minute. Okay, I'll play it another minute.
And Chris Mellon to say in public, what I know in private, and talking with them in representing Lou. Well, they didn't do that today on 60 Minutes. They did the same old shuffle of, well, who knows what they are? Even to the point where, every third of the way.
I tell you, man, that guy is either a Nordic or there's a Nordic just out of camera shot. And he's gone way beyond the tip. That's all I'm saying.
Through the show, at every single point, somebody would come on and say, they could be an awful threat. They could be who knows? They could be from China. And Marco Rubio, if they're from China or something, we should know about that. And so that whole thing is going on, as we all know, at a very low level of consciousness.
So, long story short, Sheehan, or Sheehan, whatever way you want to pronounce it, is actually doing what Greer is talking about. So that kind of, on the face of it, confirms that he's not talking totally out a hole in his backside. Okay? Thanks for sending that, Sidvich. In the end of the day, Marcus, everything is about control, but more importantly, power. That's why I don't really get into politics. I don't pick one side over another, because that's part of the illusion. It's just power, and there's various people that want to get their hands on that. Various groups, various factions, various outside entities as well. Yes, indeed. And I just want to emphasize, I don't honestly know if this guy's an alien or not. I was honestly just obviously using that for a bit of comedic shtick. Okay? I don't claim, I'm not sitting here telling you that this guy is from another planet. That would be outrageous. Absolutely outrageous, ladies and gentlemen. So he is genuinely on the face of it. And again, we're dealing with people, like he says, he's been in and around the government since the Nixon days. Wasn't it? Or was it Carter? Yeah, it was Carter. Sorry, the Carter days. So this is a guy that knows his way in and around the halls of power in Washington. Doesn't make you a good guy or a bad guy. But it makes you somebody that you got to be on your toes, and you've got to keep an open mind. And there's so many different factions again. All factions against factions. Maybe some of them want to release stuff. Maybe some of them are wanting to do the fake alien stuff. But in the end of the day, it's all about control. And I've always said that it sounds a bit miserable, a bit dark, but if we're going through this change of an age, which I think we were all talking about back in 2012 time, we just had the date wrong. We can see everything that's happening. We can see our technological future in front of us. I've always said, and I don't mean to be doom and gloom, but something big has to come along. Let me go a little bit woo, since we're about to shift gears and go over to Freaky Friday. Two people that have made a really big effect on me, caused me to think a lot on and off air, are the Australian duo of Evan and Stephen Strong. They talked about the Hopi prophecy. They talked about the changing of the age that we're in. And they talked about choosing the path, a fork in the road, if you say. And big changes coming around the corner, right? Big changes coming around the corner. And they talk very positively about UFOs, and we've seen all the light photos of Uluru and things like that. And there's absolutely energetic things and metaphysical things and things that are probably out of our ability to talk about because we're restricted by our science and our language of how to explain things, okay? But one thing that stuck with me when Evan and Stephen Strong was on, and it was a really kind of just a throwaway comment. And Stephen said about the changes we're about to go through. He says, it's going to get messy before we get there, and then moved on and kept on talking about the changes and where we're going. But we never really, and that's on me, a bad interviewer, well know that, but we never really got into what it was Stephen was kind of almost imagining or picturing, or the changes that he was talking about, the big things that were going to happen between now and then. Maybe it could well be the whole last card, the fake alien invasion. And it could just as likely be, or I'm just as open to, should I say, it being good guy and bad guy aliens, actual aliens turning up. It could be a whole heap of things coming, folks. All I know is that I feel like there's something coming. I don't know if it's around the corner or if it's a couple of years away. I've always said all of the crazy, all of the increasing craziness since 2012. Let's go from there, right? We've looked at CERN, we've looked at the D-Wave, we've talked about all that stuff. And I've often said recently, what if there's something big that has already happened in the future? Because there's no time at a quantum level, right? Past, present, future, all occurring at once. It's crazy. It's like a holographic thing. Doesn't mean we're not here. It's very physical to us. Just have a look around, feel it, right? But there's all these different other things going on as well. And is it some kind of retro causality? Is this big future event? Is it sending ripples back and we're almost riding the waves and they're getting more intense till we get there? I don't know. It's what goes on in my mind. And on a Freaky Friday, Donnie's bored. Donnie, you're a very hard man to please at times, and I know you're not keeping well at the moment, but that's absolutely no excuse for being bored. I think this is one of my better streams. I'm only joking with you, Donnie. Don't laugh too hard. But I wonder if that's what's occurring right now. Who knows, folks? Who knows? But I'm going to come into the chat room. See, he's looking for mind food, right? So that, in other words, he's just said, Kev, you've been speaking for an hour and a half about utter tripe. You've bored me, man. I mean, that's a guy I call my brother. I even call him an uncle. I actually bestowed him as an elder of the KBS Wookiee tribe at one point. I'm having to rethink this right now. Absolutely rethink it. But listen, you might be sitting out there absolutely pissing yourself laughing at what I'm saying, thinking there's a growing man, he's losing his mind. This is what somebody going insane looks like. And that's okay. Because some days I wonder if I am going insane. Anne has known for a long time I may be insane. But we're just catching up on that future mad event, right? See how that worked? I like it. So listen, we'll be back in just a moment. I'll be coming into the chat room and I'll be seeing what you've got to say. I'm awfully hurt, Donnie. My mangina's throbbing after that one. Dang, dude. Savage. What? Tough crowd, as they say, eh? There we go, there we go, there we go. Who needs trolls when you got friends like Donnie, right? Love you, Donnie. I love you, man. Hey, what can you do? So listen, you can't please all the people all the time, right? I get it, I get it. I'm a pretty hateable dude. So listen, I'm going to come back into the chat room. I'm going to scroll up a bit. It's gas that you have to explain that you don't really believe your Nordic is an alien. I know, but I was like, I wasn't doing it like to get out of trouble. I was just like, I've been called many a thing, and I just thought it'd be nice if I took that back. I still think he is kind of somewhat alien. Okay, so Kazi's telling me to turn that racket off. Oh, come on, Kazi. Let's scroll down then. Marcus says financial collapse and social control is the reason for the alien threat. We've got Donnie. And we've got not much, just they try to do the right thing, they say, says Sidvich. Markets crashed. Ponzi scheme is done. Ponzi even. And the Woo is breaking through after they delayed all the sci-fi movies for a year. I know Dune, delayed. That's kind of gotten. US can say it's Chinese. They'll fund the army and other projects. Oh, I reckon they're going to go full alien. I reckon they're going to go full alien with it. I reckon if they called out the other mob with it, they'd just... I don't know. Maybe. Good thought. That's what I like, thinking about different ways. An alien ventriloquist. Maybe it is. Very good call. It's, look, now look. Could be. It is! Hang on, you can't even see it on the screen. Here you go. Look. I'll get back to that. That was quite funny, that, but look, he is. He looks like he's doing the ventriloquist thing, doesn't he? So we'll keep scrolling down. Who said that? That was a brilliant one. Valiant Thor. Either that or it's Indrid Cole. He's got the big grinning man face on. See? Indrid Cold. Sorry. Let's see what's happening here. I think he's doing what Greer told him, says Sid. And Sid, thank you for providing that little clip there. Of course, we were talking about this from Stephen Greer today. And Stephen, listen, look, I hope you don't mind the fact that I've been kind of critical about some of what you've said. I agree with some of what you say. It's an opinion, man. You're a very public figure. I think everyone's got a right to offer their opinion on one of the biggest stories right now, at least where I am anyway, because I just stare at Woo all the time. Let me do something different here. Let me see. Ooh, who's that? You're all saying. Hang on. I'm ringing somebody right now. Well, he's not there. Let's see. ZX is talking about fear. Yep. Fear is the mind killer. What was another one I seen one time? False evidence appearing real. I like that. I think that was quite right. Quite a nice way of looking at it. And again, fear. A lot of people say, you know, the alternative media, it tends to like side towards the doom and gloom, the bad things that might be around the corner. Again, you can look at that another way, right? Because like I said earlier on, I'd rather be forewarned and forearmed than to be oblivious to what's going on. Even if it turns out like, I mean, come on. It turns out this is just a damp squib, you know, nothing really happens. But I think with the push we've seen in the media, I think we can all agree that there's something going on. Even if we don't all agree on what it is that's going on, we can all like sense there's something different here, right? Or maybe that's just me. Shawnee, not familiar with a name as such. What name was that? Did Shawnee say? Must have missed that one. Some tunes on again. Lady blah blah, Kev is right. Kev, you're really quiet and the adverts and music are loud. How did that happen? Am I quiet? 1, 2. That is a bit quiet, isn't it? There you go. I didn't even realise. Thank you for that. Holy heck, we went the full show and I've just realised I was a bit quiet. Sorry about that, folks. Oopsie. Donnie's bored. Well, that was an older one. I hope you're not still bored, dude. Marcus is apolitical. Mammoth, good to see you. Good to see you kicking around. You've got to, like, come on the show. I was telling people I'm getting you back on the show. Our Australian archaeologist. So you need to get that organised. When you get a chance. When you get a chance. Ken Ami, how you doing, man? Dude, we need to hang out again. Get you back on the show since I always rudely don't answer emails. Let's do it, man. Get you back on. We'll get into some of that real crime stuff. Watch the Unabomber documentary today. Interesting stuff. That's a good way to chill out over on Netflix if you're looking for a good documentary. Kev saved the best stuff for Freaky Friday. I have got a good little theory to go over on Freaky Friday. It's not even a theory. It's like, see when I do that kind of thing where I encourage us just to close our eyes and let me lay out almost like the plot of a book. See how, like, sometimes I do that? Well, that's the kind of thing we're going to be doing tonight. And it's going to be really, really interesting. I'm telling you, I'm excited about it. Came to me today. And again, I'm telling you right off the bat, I'm not saying this is how the world works or why things are the way they are or anything like that. I'm telling you just to go with me on a journey to Speculation Island. You'll need to tune into Freaky Friday for that. Naysay is going to be there. We're going to have a surprise guest as well that you're going to find out about in a moment. So that's the kind of show that we are on Freaky Friday. Maybe I should like tell people what's coming up next week because talking to UFOs, ladies and gentlemen, I can now start promoting one of our very big shows that's going to be coming up next week. Wait till I tell you about this. It's going to be a big week next week because on Monday, we're going to be joined by Steve and Jen Hodgson, good friends of myself, and they've been on the show once before, maybe twice. They're paranormal researchers. They've just got back from doing a paranormal investigation, and they've got lots to tell me about. So that's going to be epic. But that's just the start of a massive week, because coming up after that, we've got somebody called Jack Carey, or Jack Carey, depending how you actually want to pronounce it. Let me just pull this up on YouTube. Give me 2 seconds. Beyond Explained, Lon Strickler's channel. There we go. So if I come here, this is Jack Carey here.
Some sources that I follow are saying that there's going to be quite a bit of knowledge, secrets revealed coming out here in June. And I decided this week, after seeing a lot of mainstream media coverage, that as a professional investigator into all of these mysteries, I would be remiss in my duties if I did not start doing kind of a short update on UFO disclosure before we get started on our main.
Well, he's going to be coming on to the Kev Baker show on Tuesday. Okay, so he'll be on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we've got Mary DeCina. She'll be talking about the full moon that's coming up. And then on Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't catch a glimpse of it there, I've not filled in Thursday, but it's confirmed. It's confirmed. I am going to be talking to Kaz Clark and Gary Jones. And for anyone who doesn't know who that is, they are the two people right at the center of what is one of the most controversial UFO incidents that's ever happened in the UK. And they're coming on KBS to talk about it on Thursday. And we're going to simulcast that show as well. That's what we're going to do. No, said Vitch, he's not. No, he's not like that character. I've seen what you said. No, he's not like him, dude. He's not like slithery. Yeah, I won't even say his name. I blank it out. But Kaz Clark and Gary Jones will be on Thursday night. We're going to talk about the Pentich UFO incident. This has got a potential shoot down, crash site, multiple witnesses, army, police, cover up, men in black, weird military activity. And to this day, 5 years on, the more time that goes on and the more these people try and talk about it, the more harassment they get. Well, when I heard that these people were getting harassment for talking about what they're talking about, that sent up a flare. And I thought, about time. Might be 5 years too late, but I say everything happens at just the right time. And I was telling Kaz, the best thing to do is be as public as you can. Get on as many shows as you can. Get the story out there, because that's the best protection. Get yourself in the public eye. So Thursday is going to be absolutely epic. So let me just try something here. Hope you're all excited about that one. There we go. Who is this person we have calling into the Freaky Friday pre-show?
It's the visitor.
The visitor. I like it, dude. I like it. How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm doing fantastic. It's actually kind of a nice day here today in California, so I'm having a nice day. I'm chilling, and I'm getting ready to come visit you guys over on the TGIFF, man.
So it's true then. It's not just a rumor. You are going to join us on Freaky Friday.
Hell yeah! Where else would I be, man? It's Friday.
You could be anywhere, Jimmy. You live in what looks like the inside of a TARDIS.
I'm in my capsule, high above the world.
Like high above FEMA Region 9?
Exactly, and hanging by a thread.
by a spider's thread, did you say?
Yeah, we hear ye spiders not.
Let's see, get that down there.
So, is Scotty got connections? Is Scotty going to be here too?
Well, he's got problems with his PC, dude.
Oh, no.
So, Nase is going to be there.
Okay, cool.
I don't know how much of what I was talking about you heard.
I heard some of it was the Stephen Greer stuff. I heard the beginning part of it, but like I said,
you know me, Jimmy. I'm not making my mind up. I'm not like I don't know what the end game is with all this info coming out, and I try not to get too invested in it.
Yeah.
But ufology is one of the weirdest, wackiest, and again, it's like there's a mixture of great people all the way to like the most far out there blue chicken kind of people. Do you see what I'm saying?
It's hard to really, it's hard to find a middle ground anywhere. A lot of it's extreme this way or the other. You've got a bit of
static coming through, dude.
Sorry, it's probably because I wasn't close enough. Here, let me get this squared away here. How's that, man? Is that better?
No, let me reconnect you.
All right.
There we go. Try and phone him back, folks.
Yeah, so hopefully that's solved it,
man. That's it.
The hissing Skype.
Yeah.
The hissing snake.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with it, dude, but it's interesting to watch, man.
Yeah, well, I never trusted that Stephen Greer guy.
You don't trust many people, though.
No, that's true. But I mean, when he used to, I'm saying before I was even into the alternative and the underground, I mean, when I was just a listener to like Coast to Coast, and that was just my level of listening. Even back then, when I wasn't into anything, I was just a casual listener. I didn't trust that guy. So, I mean, I don't know anything, I don't know.
You see, when it comes to this topic, I'm very hesitant to really like go all in and trust any of them. Because I don't know any of them well enough, you know what I mean? And And so many over time, you can see where there's been like maybe they've got things wrong, but did they get it wrong, or were they deliberately like trap it? It's so hard to make sense of, man. So the best thing I can possibly do, and I hope the audience enjoy it with a little bit of my shtick thrown in there as well, is we can just look at what's going on, you know, try and make sense of it, get a laugh along the way, and hopefully, forewarned is forearmed, whatever happens.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. Well, it's a fun. There's a lot of things about the subject that's fun. It was fun and interesting for a period of time, and then these dudes came along saying that it wasn't all the feel-good aliens that were out there. It was the evil, flesh-eating.
What do you think? If they're out there, and I personally think it's a no-brainer. They are. I think they've got to be good and bad, right? They can't all be good. They can't all be bad. But what do you think?
Well, I think good and bad is a human construct.
Well, let's put it another way. Some of them are after man-corn, and some of them are coming down for a bit of, relations.
Well, I don't know, man. They're making corned beef out of Kanye West's DNA. So I don't know, man. Maybe they're coming down here to get some special DNA for some recipes.
Very, very, very nice. How you see? That's the kind of reason why they wouldn't come here. You know what I'm saying? They would like take a scan of the planet. They would say like, let's take a gauge of what's going on. What did Jimmy Jeans just say? No, we're not going down there. And they just turn around, dude.
Do you see that? So I saw there was some recent activity around some of these celebrity things that have been going on with they're making stuff, their own products. And so how there's a big push for this fake meat and what's up burger, whatever the hell it's called. You go down and get it. There's no meat in it. So these celebrities somehow jumped on this bandwagon where they deliver themselves a little piece of their DNA, and then they grow these different meats like sausages and different stuff, and it's literally branded and they have a whole description. Kanye West's sausage is smoky and flavorful, this kind of thing.
I remember Nano Girl covering a company like this, and it was like they had 3 or 4 different like Hollywood A-list names at the time.
Yeah, man.
This was like, it might be the same thing when they were just a start-up and they were like made into sausage meat.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing.
Yeah. See, there you go. There's another reason why Nano Girl is way ahead of the game, dude. Like some of the things when Johnny would get the gun out, that would usually signify better pay attention here. Like Pepper the robot, Spot the dog, all that stuff. The gun came out for that.
Yeah.
I tell you. So listen, we're gonna start wrapping up here on our little pre-show.
I need to exit stage right real quick because I have things to take care of before I go.
Go do your thing, man. Go do your thing.
All right. Well, hopefully everybody will be here in 15 minutes. You guys.
No point being here because we'll be in TFR. So,
There you go.
There you go. So go do what you're gonna do.
All right, man.
I'll catch you in a minute.
Okay.
There you go. See, you just hang up. We'll be there talking for ages. So listen, folks. Listen. Let me bring this back up. Hang on. Wrong one. There we go. Here's another of the stories that's doing the rounds right now. UFO studies and the possibility of alien origin. You see, they're going full alien with it. We seen the clip, or I played a clip on the show yesterday. It was one of the Senate people that's on the committee, the Defense Committee, or the Special Hearings Committee, something like that. And he was talking about, he was asked, do you think it's Russians, Chinese, or aliens? And he says, oh, well, the biggest threat definitely comes from the aliens. Oh, it's the alien ones that worry us most, So they're definitely going for that alien road. What's this one here? UFOs are about to make their way to the US Senate, as we know. Here's what we know. I'm going to drop these. I'll put them all in the description. You'll be able to get them afterwards if you want to go and check them out. But listen, again, I don't tell anybody what to think around here because I don't even know what's going on. I would recommend, or I would suggest, when you're watching any of this UFO stuff, you keep a very open mind because there's so much shenanigans goes on. And that doesn't mean that people are being deliberately nefarious because there's that much misinformation, disinformation, good guys, bad guys, agendas, factions, weirdness, alphabet agencies, governments, and potentially those reptilians and just the tip. Or the Nordics. I hope it's the Nordics. But until next time, folks, and I'll be live on Freaky Friday in just over 20 minutes with Nacy and Jimmy Jeans. Join us over on tfrlive.com. Hopefully, it'll be a very, very good show tonight. And I have got the wackiest, the craziest kind of, not even theory, sci-fi speculation island stuff to open the show with. It's going to literally blow your mind. I'm going to love you. I'm going to leave you. But for one last time, keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo. Said, do you know why I happily call them Nordics? Do you know why I happily call them Nordics? Because I imagine these ones to be blue-eyed, gorgeous-looking, and speaking with a lovely accent. It's a compliment I'm paying your country's female species, my friend. It's a compliment. It sounds like a digital didgeridoo, doesn't it? Big shout out to Leslie Sidvich. We have got the Mammo ZX81. Well, Mammo Mammoth, it's the same thing. We've got Cassie. We've got Geraldine, Rorschach, Paul. Paul's going full blue beam. We have got Donnie. Good to see you, man. I don't know what I've done to you, dude, but good to see you anyway. See how we are living. Marcus, Cassie, Buzz, Buzzacino, our resident philosopher, poet. Take a listen to this. If you learn from the past, mistakes and growth, and a plan for the future, foresight and awareness, you can live better in the now, making wiser choices. Dang, dude. Dang, mic drop. We have got Ben Mack. We've got the... Scrolling up, Bet. Ken, good to see you, man. Freaky Fried Eggs. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Right, more tunes, my man, more tunes. Right, wrong one. Some paranormal investigations are good, but I've seen some lately where they're pulling literally just having conversations with random word generators. Alan, I agree with you there, I tend to agree with you there, man. I'm not sure what to make of all that, like, spirit box and, it randomly says, like, sausages. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. And then somebody's like, there was a guy that lived here that liked his sausages and that. That must be so-and-so. You know, I can smell sausages now. No, I literally can't smell bangers.
Genetic engineering.
ZX, he who forgets the past is doomed to repeat it, but he who's forgotten the past wouldn't even know it. You see. I tell you, feel good again today, folks. I have got the mojo back. The mojo is back in town. Sidvich, I like this topic, so Listen, we'll be back for more of this. I'm going to flog the disclosure. Dare we call it disclosure, ladies and gentlemen? Dare we? Dare we? Keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo. Aye, Marcus, I agree, but the art's probably the least evil thing in that building, right? Oh, ho, ho, ho. In the mood for some freaky.
Freaky Friday. Geraldine, oh.
Geraldine, press control. Well, yeah, control on your keyboard and the mouse wheel on the window. You want to make the writing bigger, but if you're on a mobile, I don't know how to do it. Sorry.